regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council is now called to order on this date of August 4th. Would you all please rise? Thank you. Our Police Academy graduates. They're marching in and then we'll salute.
Present arms. Class leader, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Seats.
You all may be seated. Now I need to do this. Will the clerk please call our roll?
Councilman Charles DePiero.
Here.
Councilman Michael Markell.
Here.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel.
Here.
Council Vice President Terrence Van Derza.
Here.
And Council President Miriam Cohen.
Here. Would you please read the Sunshine Law into the record?
Sure. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1, posted on the bulletin boards within the municipal building on December 27th, 2024, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2, printed in the Home News Tribune and the Cranberry Press on December 27th, 2024. 3, posted on the Monroe Township website. And 4, sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the council president.
Thank you. Item 5 on our agenda is National Fentanyl Prevention and Awareness Day. There is a proclamation to that effect. The date is August 21st, 2025. We next are honored to have a presentation recognizing the Monroe Township Police Youth Academy graduates. Officer McCann, please.
Hello. Thank you for having us. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out. The stars of the show, the girls and guys that you have sitting right there in the first and second row. They're the best part of this town. This is our favorite week of the year for a police department, is that I look forward to this week, and us as a police department look forward to this week every year. We have 15 kids here right now, but we had 47 that graduated the Monroe Township Youth Police Academy. I understand that people have busy schedules and lives outside of the Youth Police Academy, so it is okay, but I'm very happy to see the turnout that we have right now. The 15 kids that you see in front of you and the other ones who are not here necessarily tonight, they are the stars. They are the future of this town, and not only this town, but this world. I'm very proud of them. I'm proud to know them. They make us better. There are about 1,500 kids of their age within this town that could participate in this youth academy. We had about 53 apply and then 47 graduate. I am beyond proud to get to know them, and they are going to be the leaders of this world. They deserve to be recognized, and thank you, Chief Banos, and the whole police department and the town itself for letting us have this. As long as I'm here, I promise you it'll get bigger and better each year. So let's give them a round of applause. But thank you very much, and we'll see you next year as well.
Wish a 5-minute agenda.
Yep.
I gather we have had a request from the police that we take a 5-minute recess this moment.
After the next presentation.
I have the next presentation. Thank you. And we are going to Mr. Mayor. We have the honor of having our mayor present regarding the camp directors and recognizing Monroe Township Summer Recreation Camp Directors. Sir, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Madam Council President. I'd like to call up our Superintendent for Recreation, Mary Lang, to join me at this particular time. Mayor, since I got you up here, Mayor, I'm gonna it was for the price of two here, price of one. I just want to say that July 2025 was Park and Recreation Month, and one of my handy dandy proclamations here for you. You can put it up at home on your refrigerator, or obviously share it with everyone at our community center. We're all so proud of what you do there, and just a little bit of a token there. You don't go anywhere. So it's one of the big things, right, that our rec department does is summer camp. And if you have participated in summer camp, or if your children have participated in summer camp, you know that when school ends, you're like, uh-oh, what are we going to do? Don't worry. The Monroe Rec Department knows what to do. Our rec program and their summer camp has just been amazing year after year. So besides the summer camp, we have our Mount Seeper program, and I get to visit the camp every year. And I'm just, much like the detective was proud of all of the cadets here, I'm just proud of everyone involved with our camp program. And we want to call up and recognize some of our all-stars. First, I'm going to call up from the rec camp, Charm and Sam. So if you want to come on up. And I'm just gonna read off the highlights here, please. It's all good. So we would certainly like to acknowledge Charm and Sam, who have taken our summer rec camp to new heights over the past 2 years. Our director, Charm and Sam. Charm came to us with experience working with various camps and schools, and by the first interview, the Parks and Rec staff immediately knew Charm was meant to be for the director position. That's impressive. As a camp director, Charm's excitement, desire for inclusivity, and creativity have really created an exciting environment for our summer rec campers and staff. Sam, assistant director, has risen through the ranks of the summer camp, starting as a camper and worked as a counselor in training, counselor, supervisor, and ultimately our assistant director. Now, that's impressive too. The staying power and the ability to move up, baby, it's all good. It's all good. Sam's knowledge as both a camper and staff member is integral to his ability to organize work with staff and campers and create new and fun activities for campers both on site and away at trips. Charm and Sam bring different experiences to the table, and their heart for children and combined vision making every camp experience meaningful, fun, and empowering for all of our campers. Overseeing a program of about 800 campers over 4 sites is no small feat. And we are continually excited to see what Charm and Sam have in store for us next year. Thank you so very much. Let's hear it for Charm and Sam. So Mount Seeper, I'd like to call up Joan and Debbie. Didn't I tell you the other day I'd see you soon? I don't know if you heard that. Okay. So we would like to acknowledge 2 people have made a powerful and lasting impact on the lives of so many children and families for a combined 60 plus years. our incredible Mount SEPA camp directors, Joan and Debbie. Joan and Debbie lead with heart, patience, and deep understanding what true inclusion means. Through their vision and dedication, this camp has become a place where every child feels safe, seen, valued, and empowered to be themselves. Whether it's adapting facilities, activities to fit every ability, training staff to be compassionate leaders, or simply being steady, supportive presence, Joan and Debbie bring kindness and purpose into every corner of this camp. As a liaison for the Recreation Advisory Board representing Mount SEPA, Joan works tirelessly, not just during the summer, but throughout the year at monthly board meetings to make the programming as great as it is, constantly advocating for the needs of the campers and staff behind the scenes in the off-season as well as during the summer. We are so very grateful and honored to acknowledge Joan and Debbie, and we thank them for their years of service. Let's give them a. And I stand before you, yes, as the mayor, but I stand before you as a parent who attended Mount SEPA. Both of my boys went there. Both of them were counselors. And just to see over the years, my many years here in Monroe Township, being the mayor now, to go back and see the value-added programming, what they do for our children of Monroe Township. Again, thank you all so very, very much. Madam President, I would thank you now, and if you want to take a moment for photos, I think this would be an appropriate time.
Thank you. 5 minutes. Right. Folks, we'll take 5-minute recess so we can all get pictures, and then we will reconvene. 5, which is the ordinances for introduction at the August 4th, 2025 regular meeting. Will the deputy clerk please read the ordinance?
Sure. Ordinance 8/2025-019. It's a bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of North Disbrow Hill Road for use as open space in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,635,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,509,500 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
The next ordinance, please.
Ordinance 08-2025-020, ordinance to acquire by negotiated agreement and donation real property known and designated as Tax Block 2, Lot 1, and Block 3, Lot 25 on the official tax map of the Township of Monroe, Middlesex County, New Jersey, located off North Disbrow Hill Road for open space and recreation purposes.
Thank you. Item 6 is resolutions.
One more.
Oh, I missed a third. I only have 2.
Oh, ordinance 08-2025-021.
It's not on my agenda.
And ordinance amending Chapter 108, Article 6, zoning district regulations for the rezoning of Highway Development District along Butcher Road.
Thank you. Item 6 is resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the August 4th meeting, RA 2025-150 through RA 2025-170. Council, having reviewed these, are there any that you like to bring to the attention? Yes, please.
Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome.
R8 2025-158. R8 2025-163. And the last one's R8 2025-164.
Thank you. Anyone else? We move to the public comment section of the agenda meeting. Please remember, it is limited to agenda items only, 5 minutes per speaker. May I have a motion to open public comments?
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anyone wishing to address the council, please come forward now, stating your name and address for our records.
George Kunkelman, Monroe.
In the consent agenda, item 168, I wasn't able to access the details of the agreement. I just got the outline of the ordinance. So I'd like to know what's in the agreement. I'm concerned about where the town stands in its financial. We've talked about this thing for a couple of years here, and originally it was thought that we were going to be able to hold BFI responsible for the roughly $5 million the township has spent in rectifying the condition that they left for us. What does the agreement do with that? Are we getting any compensation? And who inherits the ongoing liability for the site?
So the answer to the question is what the agreement does is this, is as you know, there's a lawsuit. BFI has sued the township has counterclaimed for their costs, BFI has sued for their costs. This first settles the lawsuit. The second thing it does is it will ultimately end up in the transfer of the ownership and all of the responsibility for the landfill to a company who is going to build a community solar project on the landfill. And it takes BFI out of it completely. So right now, the landfill is owned by the township and it's operated by BFI in accordance with a probably 30 or 40-year-old agreement that included the township, BFI, and the federal government. So we'll be getting BFI out of the equation completely. We will then have the community solar project there, and we'll enter into a redevelopment agreement for that purpose. We don't have the complete financial details of the redevelopment agreement yet, but the way the township would always recapture its costs with regards to any sewer infrastructure is based upon how it is we structure the industrial sewer charge. So that's probably the methodology we'll use to collect that money.
So the costs are going to be passed on to users?
The industrial users, and they're one.
We don't have many.
Well, the landfill is one. That's not true. The landfill is an industrial user.
So how many years is it estimated it'll take to recover the $5 million the township's taxpayers have spent?
The taxpayers spent it, but they haven't paid it, right? Because they borrowed the money. So the answer is
the same thing.
I'll tell you why it's not. If we pay it over 30 years and we recover it over 30 years, the taxpayers are made whole. It's the difference between the taxpayers having paid.
30-year recover for the outlay.
Correct.
Of that.
Correct.
Roughly $5 million.
Correct. And ultimately, we'll have to get Mr. Stroing's department.
Is that with interest, or is there no calculation of interest?
I don't think that we've crunched the numbers that way.
Well, at 5%, it would double in 20 years, correct?
If it was 5%.
Yeah. So we'd have to recover approximately, 15 million.
That's not true. The bond was $3 million. So we're at
5.
Yes. Well, if we assume that the $3 million bond is $5 million, and we assume that the $3 million we borrowed was $5 million, and if we assume the interest rate is twice what we think it is, then your numbers are correct. But all of those assumptions I don't necessarily think are correct.
What assumptions are that?
Your assumption that the amount of the bond and the amount of the interest rate, I don't think are correct.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that I don't have those numbers, so we haven't gotten into that detail yet because we're a while away from before we'll get to a point where we'll have to strike any kind of rate.
What assurance do we have that DEP is going to be on board with any of this?
So this is not the first time this has been done. It's a program that actually is sponsored and encouraged by DEP, and the onus for getting the approval is on the solar company that's going to build landfill. There's no cost to us to do the permitting. They're going to do all of it, and they've done it before. South Brunswick and Mount Olive are two places that it's been done before, for sure. So it's not. It's not like we
are those sites that are having problems similar to the problem that we've had.
Well, they're not having
problem.
They're not having problems now. I don't know if they were having problems before. But the problem with landfills is, as long as you know, because you understand this side of it a little bit, is the longer you own a landfill, the more you have liability. I mean, landfills are a liability. We are offloading a liability to another private company. We're not going to be the owner anymore. We're not going to be the responsible party. They're going to, hold us harmless and defend us from all of those costs. So that's a good thing. We still have our regulatory responsibility because we still have a health department, we still have an engineering department, we still have MTUD, but we won't have the financial responsibility. That'll be offloaded to another company.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have any time.
You don't have any time.
Gee, it would be such a shame. I'd like to know what in the world a non-condensation development area is, but I guess we won't find out.
We will find out.
It's an area that's designated as an area in need of redevelopment, but the town's not authorized to use its condemnation powers. Pretty simple. That was a bonus answer. Me too.
Your name and address
Hi,
for our
Gary
records,
Busman,
please.
7 Monarch Road, Monroe Township. This is kind of a thought process of an item that I'm going to bring to your attention. There are several items on here, Resolution 154, 5, 6, and 7, that total $209,000 for resolutions to authorize and repair for MTUD, Municipal Utility Department. Now, that's this month. Every month there seems to be requests for payments for repairs to equipment. Now, I understand, because I'm going to recommend this, and it might not be prudent to even recommend this, but I'm a believer of reserves. And I know reserves increased tax rates, but I believe that these things should be funded through a reserve rather than a pay-as-you-go basis. Because I don't understand, without combing through the financials, how we pay for this $209,000 that's this month, whether or not and what line item it comes off in our budget. If it's already a line item that this is applied to that doesn't exceed the budget, then I'm out of order by saying I'm not really out of order. My recommendation is not important. Can something like that be answered?
Can we?
So, Council President, I may ask Mr. Stroin to come and elaborate, but you're correct. When these items, not just at MTUD, but at DPW and other places.
Anyone, that's correct.
When they are budgeted for during our budget and they come out of our operating budget, they are already a line item. They were an anticipated expense, and now we are spending from those budgets. If it was a capital item that we took out an ordinance to finance, then it would be coming out of that account. So I'm not sure if that answers your question. But
well, it kind of, because I always believe in establishing reserves for these things. But if it's already been calculated in the budget, then in essence, it is a reserve, because you've estimated what these extra items are going to cost during the course of a year.
Sure, Council President, there's always that analysis in the writing of every budget based on history, experience, and expertise about what we anticipate we might need in terms of repair costs. And sometimes we are overestimate, sometimes we underestimate, but we do our best to
it's very important for any kind of business entity, and even though we are a municipality, we are a business, we run as a business. I believe reserves are essential for the long-term stability of any operation or any organization. And therefore, I just want to be on top of the fact that anything that we have in a resolution has already been provided for in the estimate in the budget. So I thank you.
You're welcome. With the reminder that we have a AA+ bond rating, which would be, I know you know that, which would be evidence of the fact that we have responsible budgeting and planning going on. Ma'am, please. Your name and address for our records.
Deborah Schneider, 23 Harwood. Quick question on 153. Almost $162,000 for paper bags seems like an awful lot of money. What quantity are we talking here?
The grass bags.
So, Council President, I know that Pabco was the only bidder the last time we went out to bid, and I think that's true for the last couple cycles that we've gone out to bid. There is a provision in the contract that we have with them that we can extend this year, and if we choose to, the council can extend next year before we would go out to bid the following year. I just have to check through the resolution to see if it lists how many bags exactly. But this is the common cost that we've had over a period of time, and they were not just the low bidder, but the only bidder in this regard.
Well, don't you think a little bit more research needs to be done? I mean, geez, $161,000 for paper bags.
Correct. And Council President, part of our Clean Communities grant, which was this year's $132,000, which was higher than many other towns got. Part of that, much of that, is can go to and has gone to pay for this expense. So it's a large town. It's 43 square miles with 50,000 residents. So this is the lowest possible price we could get. There's nothing lower out there.
Well, I'd still like to know how many bags that is for, and have you ever considered charging maybe 10, 15 cents a bag to the consumer on the other end?
The consumer being the residents.
I apologize. I don't have the exact number of bags in front of me. I can certainly get you that information.
I
but
would like that information, yes.
we are not looking to add an additional cost onto our residents who are our consumers.
Well, tell me about it. I got my tax bill. My second question is, the open space for 19, 20, and 21, were those increases included in this tax bill, or would that be our next year's tax bill? And what are you anticipating an increase again of in the open space tax?
I don't think there is an anticipated increase in the open space.
There is not.
We just got one.
There was no increase in the open space tax.
There was no increase in the open space tax.
Excuse me, we did get one.
No, the rate of the open space tax has stayed the same, right?
Well, I went from paying last year a minimum of $152. I am now up to $164.46. So there was an increase.
There was no increase in the rate, so it would have to be increase in your assessed value. It's based upon an increase in your assessed value. The rate is fixed every year. I don't know how many pennies is it? It's
0.005.
5 cents.
The municipal open space tax did not increase for 2025's budget.
Okay. But if you could get back to me on the bags, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward now.
Good evening, Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. On resolution, sorry, I just got in, but in case this resolution was already discussed, I still have a couple questions. 168, the BFI resolution.
Sure.
Okay, so my first question is, will there be continued monitoring of the release of methane gas?
Yes.
Okay, so
that's done in accordance with the environmental permits.
But who will be responsible for that?
The owner of the landfill will be responsible for
The new owner of the landfill.
Correct.
Okay, and the percentage of the Superfund that has been remediated, I thought it was a relatively small percentage, as I recollect. But do we have that number? Does
No,
the owner?
the answer is that it's all been remediated, and there's a closure plan in place, so there's not new remediation that's happening.
I thought when we were having the trouble a couple years ago with this, that one of the because I was at the site with others.
Sure.
I thought it was only 25% remediated.
I think you're referring to the cap. I think that the cap that is in place is the cap that DEP required. You're not. When you say remediate, I think what you're talking about is that there was numbers kicked around that it's only 25% of it is hard capped. But whatever the cap is what was done as a result of the Superfund designation and the
So
remediation.
everything is still in the soil. There's never been any soil taken out or anything like that. So leachate can still occur, is that correct?
Right, and that's why there's leachate pumping. That's why we built a new pump station to make sure that the leachate is there, and this company will be responsible for all of that system.
Okay, and everything that we've done to date, since, a couple years ago when they saw the leach and everything, that has been the cost to Monroe Township, is that correct?
Correct, and that's
How much is that?
Well, the answer is I don't know what the exact number is. I don't know if Kevin does, but it's a cost to maintain the public health. So yes, the answer is
of
we've
course.
incurred those costs.
I'm not objecting, I'm
And-
just asking.
And those are costs that, as I indicated, you probably weren't here when I answered the question a couple of minutes ago. Those costs to be captured in an industrial charge that will apply.
Industrial charge to who?
Industrial users, this being one of them.
Overall? Oh, first of all, can we answer the question if Mr. McGowan knows how much we've spent?
Yeah, it's between the pump station and the force main, both hard and soft costs together, it's about 4.1 million.
Okay. And wasn't there a promise that BFI would be paying that cost? We would be getting reimbursed?
No, I think there was a promise that we would be seeking it, but what we got, which is in all due respect better, is that we got somebody else to take the entire liability for the landfill. So over the course of time, the township actually saves a substantial amount of money.
How much? Has it been calculated?
Well, I don't think that I want to publicly calculate what I think the potential liability risk is for owning a landfill, but I think anybody who owns a landfill who can get rid of it and not have the responsibility for it understands that it's avoiding there's one way to get money is to get it. The other way is to avoid having to spend it.
But we never owned that landfill.
We absolutely always owned the landfill.
We did own the landfill? Okay.
Yes, the landfill is owned by, has always been, it was started by and owned by the township, and BFI was deemed, actually Republic, and then BFI, their successor, was the responsible party. So we are the owner of that landfill, which means we're always on the hook, which means if BFI went out of business, we would be completely responsible. We are now going to sell and be held harmless for all of the liability with regards to the landfill. It's a substantial savings now and into the future on behalf of the
So the township is selling this property?
Yes, we're actually pretty much giving it away because, you really can't sell a landfill.
So that's what I'm saying. We're not recouping any of these funds
not in this
yet.
transaction.
So we're on the hook for 4.1 million until such time in the future, you say?
No, because the $4.1 million was spent under a bond ordinance, and we're paying X a year, and I don't know what the
No,
bond
I
payments
understand
are.
that. It's
So
still, we're paying.
over the course of the period of time that we have to pay off the bond, we'll be recapturing the money to cover the bond costs.
You said, but from whom, sir?
From industrial users of the system, not residential users.
Industrial users of that particular system or in
Of
general?
the system in general.
And the system specific to Monroe or county or state?
Oh, no, this is Monroe. We set our rate here.
So we have an industrial system established, a fund?
Well, one of the things, we have an industrial system established. No, we have a utilities established, but we can set rates for different classes of users, which is what we'll be doing.
So users who are not responsible for this are going to be paying it off,
I
essentially?
think that there's only one that is responsible, and it's them. I think they're the only industrial user.
Oh. Okay.
That's the point.
Can we calculate how much that will be to us?
Calculate how much money we're going to save over the next 30 years of not owning the landfill?
Time is now up at this section. We'll come back again in the next portion
Still a
of the
good
meeting.
question.
Anyone else wishing to address the council? Please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, I'd like to have a motion to close the public comment section, please.
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor of closing the public comment section?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. May I have a motion to adjourn the agenda session, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Second on that?
Second.
Thank you, sir. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Shapiro?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza?
Yes.
And Council President Cullen.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned. We now call the regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council to order. Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second on that.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Shapiro?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza
Yes.
and Council President Cullen.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the payment of claims for the run date of July 30th, 2025? Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Shapiro.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza.
Yes.
And Council President Cullen.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the following meetings as written and presented, June 16th and June 30th, both agenda and regular combined meeting? Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Roll
Second.
call. Second. Good. May I have a roll call?
Councilman Shapiro.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza.
Yes.
Council President Cullen.
Yes. Would the deputy clerk please read the ordinances for the first reading?
Sure. Ordinance 08-2025-019. It's a bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of North Disbro Hill Road for use as open space in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,635,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,509,500 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Shapiro.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza.
Yes.
And Council President Cullen.
Yes.
Ordinance 08-2025-020. It's an ordinance to acquire by negotiated agreement and donation real property known and designated as Tax Block 2, Lot 1, and Block 3, Lot 25 on the official tax map of the Township of Monroe, Middlesex County, New Jersey, located off North Disbro Hill Road for open space and recreation purposes.
Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Shapiro.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza.
Yes.
And Council President Cullen.
Yes. There is one more. We only have.
Yes, there is one more.
It's not, still not on my agenda.
Ordinance 08-2025-021. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 108, Article 6, zoning district regulations, the rezoning of highway development district along Butcher Road.
Need a motion?
Yes.
We need a motion, folks.
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Shapiro.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza.
Yes.
And Council President Cullen.
Yes. We move to item 5, resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda. Clerk, please indicate what resolutions are being held.
It's resolutions 158, 163, and 164.
May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda minus those 3 resolutions, please?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Shapiro.
Yes.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza.
Yes.
And Council President Cullen.
Yes. Resolutions that were removed from the consent agenda, please read those numbers again, please.
It's resolution R8-2025-158, R8-2025-163, and R8-2025-164.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you. Second on that.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Shapiro.
Abstain.
Councilman Markel.
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Derza.
Yes.
And Council President Cullen.
Yes. We will now move to our administrator's report. Mr. McGowan, please.
Thank you, Council President. So for the last year or so, the township has been working with the authorization of the council, we've been working with a firm called Schneider Electric to develop an ESIP project, energy savings improvement project, whereby we would develop and implement various solar and other energy saving improvements around the township. That firm is here with us tonight, and I'd like to invite Mr. Dan Riggle to the table over there to give a brief presentation, pardon me, about their firm's final proposal for us. There's nothing on the agenda tonight to approve this final proposal. We're hoping to do that in September, but we wanted to provide the council with the overview and give the council enough time to digest this project. And we can certainly answer any questions and have additional conversations between now and September, and then hope to bring this back at the September meeting for another consideration. Thank you.
Sir.
If you'll just bear with us, Council President, we're just going to set up the PowerPoint presentation.
All right. Well, thank you, Council. Appreciate the time. Oh, Mike.
He's going to introduce himself, right?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Regel with Schneider Electric. Appreciate the time here. So as Kevin mentioned, going to give you all an update of the Energy Savings Improvement Program that we've been working on for quite some time now with the Township. So as Kevin mentioned, we're going to be highlighting some of the solar projects and some of the other projects that we've come up with across the town. So we'll kind of start with what the goals were, look a little bit about the scope of work, the financials, and then talk about some of the next steps in this process. So starting out, really there were kind of three main driving goals for this project for the township. So number one is savings, right? How can we help drive budgetary savings for the township? So looking at things like electric, natural gas, water, looking at operations and maintenance costs, but really across the board, how can we help drive some savings? And then number two, how can we then reinvest some of those savings into capital needs, into projects that the township needs to get done? And then the third piece is how can we improve the sustainability, primarily through on-site solar. So we'll touch on kind of where the big opportunities for that are. So just to start, the whole concept here, which was established by the New Jersey legislature in 2009. The industry's been around longer than that, but the current version is called the Energy Savings Improvement Program, or ESIP. It really was just a program that the state set up to allow public entities to borrow money to fund energy savings projects that achieve capital needs. So a lot of schools and towns will use this type of program to do HVAC projects and roofing projects and solar projects. So really the concept is coming up with a budget neutral solution where there's some savings in the budget that is then used to fund debt service payments to get needed improvements for the public entity. So one thing I'll note about this process is it is what's referred to as design build. So different than most construction, which is design bid build, where typically you would hire an architect or an engineer. They would come up with designs or drawings, and then a project would go out to bid, and usually you would hire a contractor, maybe multiple contractors, maybe you'll have a construction management firm, but in general, a lot of different parties involved. This is different than most traditional construction in terms of design build. So what we mean by that is we're the designer and the builder. So doing this development that we've spent about a year on with the township, doing all the engineering and the drawings for the scope of work, and then subcontracting all of the actual installing contractors. So really one point of accountability, we're doing the development, we're building the project. So a lot of towns like this because you know who's responsible. Ultimately, we're responsible for what we come up with, and we also provide a financial guarantee for the savings that we are projecting for these projects. So one thing, if you haven't heard or noticed on your utility bills, rates are going up really across the state, especially starting June 1st. There were some PJM charges that have kind of filtered down to residents in JCP&L territory, about 20% of an increase. And for commercial customers, it's a little bit more complicated, but the graph here is typically a small portion of the electric cost, what they call capacity charges, which come from the grid operator on those peak summer hot days like what we've had in the last couple weeks. So what's been a very small percent of the electric cost has gone up significantly as of June 1st, 833% increase. They just recently did the auction for next year's rates. So this charge, which is buried in the bill, is going to be another 22% next summer. So the point being, There's a lot that drive utility costs, but in general, those rates are driving upward. So if we take the current energy usage, electric and gas, and the current energy rates, we're looking at over a 20-year lifespan, about 25 to 32 million that the township would spend on electric and gas. So that's assuming no changes. That's assuming it keeps going up 2.2%. Obviously, it could go up less than that, but it also could go up more than that, like we've seen. So, long story short, from our perspective, it seems like a good time to try and mitigate against some of these cost increases. And I think the good news is there's a lot that could be done. So the biggest opportunity being solar. We sat down with the township. We looked at all the facilities across the whole town that are owned, and came up with where does township staff think it makes sense to potentially put solar. We looked at roofs. We looked at putting it on the ground. We looked at covered parking canopies. Came up with a list. We then took that and had our preliminary designs. We took it to the utility because any solar system, 99+% in New Jersey, has to be approved by the utility. So there were certain facilities where the grid could not support additional on-site generation via solar, so we had to refine the designs. And what we landed at is something that's already been approved by the utility that can be interconnected and, more or less, final type of design. So we say 90% at this point because, there's still opportunity for feedback from the council, from staff, and also from other stakeholders. But we're, very close to being able to finalize the project here. So looking at DPW, we've got the aerial shot. Big blue square is where solar would be going. So on that long south-facing roof, which is perfect, and then also a large new canopy. So you guys have probably seen in parking lots covered solar canopies. There's kind of two main designs, I would say. One that kind of mirrors the parking rows, and then this is what we would call a long span, which would be a bigger, kind of larger canopy that goes all the way across, that produces a large amount of solar, but also provides covered parking. A lot of towns, either because they're regulated and they have to, or because they want to, want covered parking, right? Because you got a lot of expensive equipment, a lot of expensive vehicles that could be protected from the elements. Sun, wind, snow. So that's a benefit that would be bringing to DPW. And because the energy use is low at this facility, it's actually qualified for remote net metering, which is crediting the solar that's being produced at other buildings. So this facility would be 100% offset by the new solar, but the solar would also be credited on the JCP&L bill to offset this facility 90%, the community center 91%, and the senior center 90%. So a big offset to the township's electric costs. Similarly, at the library, we would also be looking at a covered parking canopy system. So over the 3 rows of parking there's still some kind of fine tuning with the township and various stakeholders on the design, but in general, another opportunity to provide shade for the public that's parking and using the library, and also offset 97% of that facility's usage. So the EMS building is smaller, but still a good opportunity on the roof. There's a new roof warranty at that facility, so that's a good thing. And again, we could offset 100% of this building just using the rooftop. And what we call police, because it would be tying into the police electrical meter, but it's actually north of the EMS building. So similar to DPW, another opportunity for covered parking for vehicles and equipment that would offset 100% of the expected use of the police building, including that new addition. So the last one, which is exciting, and it looks pretty small, but it's actually a pretty large system, is at the utilities on the pond. Potential for a floating solar system, which is may sound fairly novel, but it's actually fairly established. There's quite a few installations at New Jersey, mostly at kind of similar municipal water and wastewater reservoirs and ponds. But yeah, that would offset close to 100% of the utility usage, and would be a great kind of leading case study as well. So those are really the big solar opportunities. We did look at the usage in the buildings as well, and one of the big opportunities we saw was sports field lighting. So this is partly an energy savings opportunity, but more so just a benefit, to recreation areas, right, where you may have older lighting that is a maintenance issue, but also may not provide the ideal levels of light on the field. I may switch mics here if this is. Am I okay? Am I crackling a little bit?
No problem. You're doing much better than many of us do.
All right, I'm going to keep going. So this would really be more of a community benefit project, right? So improving the light levels on the field, not having kind of the humming of the ballasts of the older light systems, going to about 50-foot candles, which is a pretty solid light level on the infield, 30-foot candles in the outfield. So this would be really a benefit to the community and having, more adequate lighting at the softball complex. We did notice a couple other lighting opportunities. A lot of it has been done. The township has been pretty proactive in taking advantage of different opportunities that are out there for funding and doing HVAC and LED lighting, but there still is a handful of buildings where we would really make sure all the lighting is completely updated to LEDs so that the township doesn't have to worry about the maintenance associated with those older systems. And then, one last piece here, envelope and insulation, something you usually wouldn't see, but just outside air coming into the buildings, or in the summer when it's hot and humid, trying to tighten up some of those gaps, right? So a lot of times what we see is along the exterior wall where the roof meets the wall, just a gap where you have air coming in. No one sees it because a lot of times it's above a drop ceiling, but it's affecting comfort. It's affecting the HVAC systems. And in this case, we could save about $11,000 a year just from tightening up a handful of the facilities. So yeah, moving on to numbers. Looking first at kind of the utility impact. If we look at gas and electric, about a 55% emissions reduction. Which is significant, mostly through the solar, but adding up all that other stuff makes a pretty good dent as well. I think if we look at that from a cost basis, potential for about $21.6 million over 20 years. And again, you could see a little bit more in the summer when that solar is producing at its highest with the green bars on the right, and then a little bit less in the winter, but overall a pretty significant impact. And again, we're using the rates that the BPU establishes for escalation, so 2.2% for the next 20 years. Obviously, rates can go up more than that, so I think it's a solid hedge against what is potentially to come. So yeah, we're looking at about $21.6 million in savings, incentives, and revenue over 20 years for about a $15 million project. You can see the lion's share of that is the solar and getting those systems installed. But that's also the lion's share of the revenue for this project, which is significant as well. So there would be about $3.5 million that would come from the federal government, and then another about $2.5 to $3 million, a total of about $5.8 million in outside funding. So funding that would not be coming from Monroe Township, and then additional savings off the budget, like we talked about. So with solar being the main piece, we've got a little breakdown here of site by site, what the cost would be, what that federal solar incentive would be, the ITC, and then what the annual savings off the utility bills and the annual SREC revenue, which is a New Jersey incentive that gets paid out every single year for 15 years. So all in all, adds up to be about $5.8 million in the incentives, and then when you add the savings on top of that, about $19 million just for the solar. So I know this is a lot. I will try and stop talking here. I'd love to get any questions if you guys have any. But yeah, really the summary is a big savings opportunity for the township, a little over $500,000 a year in potential savings, total incentives of about $9.4 million. If we add everything up there, and then again, some meaningful improvements with the sports field lighting and some other, smaller stuff throughout the buildings, and certainly a big hedge against utility costs, basically being able to lock in what those utility rates are going to be for the township for the next 20 years. And at that point, the system is paid off, and any additional production beyond that is just basically for free for the township, which is a big win. So that is that's the scoop. As Kevin mentioned, this is really informational. This is a big potential project, so we wanted to make sure that everyone had time to digest it, ask questions now, or go back to Kevin. There are some items being contemplated for the next couple of months, but at this point, it's really to get everything out there and give you guys a chance to digest it. So thank you for the time. I'll take some questions if you have any.
Do we have any questions, any of you now? Please, sir.
Yes, thank you. When you talk about a lot of these carports, and it looks like majority of these properties have carport units, there's nothing on the ground?
There's always something underground. I mean, you
had the floating pond.
Oh, you're saying there's no other systems on the ground?
Right.
No, I think just from like a space utilization standpoint, there wasn't a whole lot of real estate.
So the construction of all these carports, is that included in your numbers?
Oh yeah, these are all in numbers, construction costs, engineering costs, everything included. Right. Yeah.
So you say we got a savings of $500,000. Does that also include the cost of what the interest is going to cost us to do the system, a $13 million system? I mean, you calculate what the interest is for the $13 million?
Yeah.
That's all incorporated?
So the savings covers the cost of not just the construction, but also the interest, also the maintenance for 20 years. So basically, and that's what we're required to do on any of these projects across the state, because we've got to send it to a third-party reviewer working for the township as well as the BPU. But the requirement is there's enough, savings to cover not just construction, but also cost of issuance. So yeah, we work with the township and their financial advisor to come up with, okay, what's a reasonable interest rate, and make sure we've got enough savings to cover all of that.
What other communities have your company done around here?
Around here, we're in construction right now in Piscataway Township, other municipalities, Jersey City, Secaucus, local school districts, which are similar, but they're schools, North Brunswick, West Windsor, Plainsboro. Those are probably some of the closer ones, yeah.
Is there any guarantee?
I'm sorry.
Is there any guarantee on the savings?
Yeah, so we offer a guarantee on pretty much any of our projects. So here we would be measuring and verifying the solar every year. We guarantee 90% of the production coming off the panels, and that's what our company offers for the whole system. And then there's also a guarantee from the panel manufacturers, which usually goes out 30 years, which is more of like a warranty, but it's a production warranty, so kind of a de facto savings guarantee.
And what's the life expectancy of these units?
So the production warranty is 30 years for the ones that we're looking at. It has a slight degradation. So at year 30, they're guaranteeing 87% of the year one solar production. And we factor that in, 0.5% per year. It's going to go down. Various inverters are a 10-year warranty typically. So those are the big components, the panels and the inverters.
And there's no service charge to the town at all during this time, right?
So there are maintenance costs. We have that factored in to the budget for fairly basic maintenance. I mean, there's not a massive amount of maintenance, but we have budgeted for that just in terms of monitoring, in terms of checking inverters, doing on-site inspections twice a year, things like that. So it's a nominal cost in comparison to the construction, but that has been factored in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else have questions at this point? I'm Mr. Van Zura. You must be very excited about this.
As Mr. McGowan knows, and Mr. Weinberg beforehand, this is something I've been excited about for a long time. And first of all, thank you for coming in and presenting this to the public and allowing people time to digest it. So, but basically, so people understand in layman's terms, we're going to pay a certain amount of money for construction costs, but the amount of money we pay is going to be offset by the amount of savings we make from the energy savings themselves, right?
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
That's exactly right.
There comes a point in time after we've paid off our construction costs where the amount that we're saving increases exponentially, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct, yeah.
And that's about after how many years would that
be?
20
20 years is what we're looking at. And that's typically what we look at because these systems, again, the panels have a 30-year warranty, so 20 to 30 years is a healthy kind of lifespan. So, and that allows, towns to get more done, right? Like we talked about the sports field lighting.
And I remember when we first talked about this, we were talking about adding it here, adding it there, adding all. Now, you did have a certain amount of limitations on places that you could add the electricity because JCP&L, for example, limits the amount that they will accept from our system. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
That was a big driving factor to kind of narrow in the scope. Yeah.
All right. So in case people are sitting out there going, well, why don't you put it on this roof and that roof? Well, we're doing the best that we can with the amount that they're willing to accept.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. I think you guys are doing a great job. One of the other things with the canopies and stuff, I hadn't really thought about this, and I'm sure it's probably incorporated into the design, but with all the terrible weather events that we've been having over the last few years, is there some level of protection, certain protected against a certain amount of wind or things of that nature?
Yeah, I would need to double check the specifics. I think it was like 120 mile an hour rated in this zone because it's based on the climate zone and everything else. So we've got a design around that. But I believe it was somewhere in there as far as like wind goes. And then based on, the geotechnical conditions, if we're building the carport right, one of the next steps that we were looking at over this next month would be to come out and basically, do a ground sample to see, are we looking at bedrock or are we looking at sand or clay? And then that factors into the design to make sure that we're going to meet those requirements.
Sure. No, I think that's important because people would want to know, that you're putting this up. It's not going to get destroyed or whatever, but I appreciate your explaining that so people know. And I think my overall assessment is my favorite two words that I heard from you were financial guarantee, that we will guarantee enough that we will be able to cover the cost. It's not going to cost the town overall.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
You are going to be here for the rest of the meeting?
I have a question also.
Yes, I wasn't.
I'm sorry. JCP&L, when they limit the amount of solar you can provide us, is that for the whole town, or is that just like, can individual communities like a senior community go to you and say, we want to put solar in our community as a separate project, or is that included in what you're okayed for right now?
So it's really based on each building. So every building or meter or interconnection point is what they're approving or denying. And sometimes they'll approve you up to a cap, right? So it's really based on the building. So we looked at all the township buildings and then we kind of narrowed that down. But as far as the rest of the town goes or other, building owners, they do have like a map. They call it a solar suitability map. You can kind of plug your address in and see red, yellow, green, how suitable is it, which is a good first step. But we did find when we actually submitted the application, some of the green ones turned out red and vice versa. But yeah, that it would be one of the steps. But really any, commercial building could kind of go look at, do they have the option from the utility to be able to do a solar project?
There are adult communities in this town that already have using solar power for some of the larger buildings that they have.
Yeah, and the senior center here was one that did not allow from JCP&L, but we've done senior living communities in other towns that were municipally owned. But yeah, we stuck exclusively to the municipal buildings in our analysis.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Councilwoman.
Thank you for the presentation. It was very informative. How long does it take to complete a project like this?
Typically 12 to 24 months. I think in this case, we'd probably be looking at, 14 to 18, somewhere in that range. I think as we get closer, we would tighten that up a little bit, but I think a year and a half is a pretty safe average for the construction period.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like Mr. McGowan? You're good? You're not leaving us? You'll be here?
I'll be here. Yep,
You'll
I'll be here.
here. Fine, we can continue. Thank you
Absolutely.
very much.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
We appreciate the report. Mr. Rasmullins?
Thank you, Council President. Quick update on a few of the excuse me. Quick update on a few of the projects. The police station building, a lot of work going on over there. At this point, flooring is installed, the siding work is getting completed, site work has resumed, and possibility of paving near the end of the month. James Monroe Park, the concession stand and park improvements. We have concrete footings that are poured. The utilities will be going in. They'll be pouring a concrete floor out there. We also have the roof trusses are already on the site. So again, that's moving along well at this point. Our 2025 road paving project, we're repaving approximately 12 roads. About 6 of the roads have been completed as of today. And again, that's continuing well. Weather is on our side with that. So that continues. Inwood Estates, that was a project from, we started last year at the end of the year. There was utility work that was being done there the last couple months. That's been completed, and they resumed paving out there. So that paving in that neighborhood should be complete by the end of this week, if not early next week.
Wow.
And let's see, for information, Middlesex County, their project for Prospect Plains and Applegarth Road intersection, they actually awarded that project last month at the county commissioners meeting. So I will be expecting at some point to get an email regarding a pre-construction meeting, and I'll let the council know as that proceeds. And lastly, tonight on the council agenda, the resolution awarding the pickleball courts and parking lot improvements at the senior center. We expect that to start sometime in September, and the contractor is D. Avellino, who we have worked with before. They did our inclusive playground over on by the soccer complex, as well as our volleyball courts in Patriots Park and Veterans Park. So I'm looking forward to that project starting. And that's my report.
Thank you very much. I'd like to go to our council reports. I will begin to my extreme left as you're continuing to make little notes for yourself. Councilwoman.
Thank you, Council President. Just a couple quick notes. It's summer. There's a lot of things happening in Monroe. As liaison to cultural arts and historic preservation, just want to remind everyone about the summer concerts that we've been having in Thompson Park. They're free, so please come join us. They're on Thursdays in Thompson Park starting at 6 p.m. Our Historic Preservation Commission still has open houses going on the first Sunday of each month through October, beginning at 1 o'clock. And I just wanted to put something out there for your calendars in September. We have our annual vintage baseball game at Dye Farm on Saturday, September 13th from 12 to 2:30. Again, it's free admission. It's a really great event. They have a nice turnout each year. And I wanted to mention, we had recently attended a state medal ceremony for our veterans, and it was a beautiful event that we had. Thank you to everyone who coordinated that event, and it was an honor to see all our Monroe veterans who received this honor to receive their medals. So thank you to all that brought that to Monroe. And then I want to share something that I went to the first time is the Middlesex County Plays. I don't know if anyone's been there. I know, I'm still excited about this. I never went to it before, but Middlesex County puts on Plays in the Park in Roosevelt Park in Edison. And it was a wonderful experience. They put on some great plays. I went to see Rent, which I've never seen before. And what's nice about it is a lot of the performers are from Middlesex County themselves. They practice throughout the year. So I encourage you to go. Grease is playing right now. So if anyone's interested, check out the Plays in the Park from Middlesex County. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman Markell.
Okay, Rupa kind of hit everything that's going on, so we kind of leave that out of it. I just wanted to mention I was at the military program at the senior centers, which was absolutely fantastic to see the some Mr. Buzzy there. Everybody was there. It was a great event, giving out medals to a lot of our veterans. And that brings to mind the only thing I really want to mention. You know, a town like this, we have a lot of great things like we saw today with the police and with the camp and everything else. But ultimately what drives the town is the people that live here. And we have some great people that live here. And one of the people I don't want to just mention is this gentleman by the name of Ed Horniger. He was a veteran, and he lived in Clearbrook. And he lived I think he was 90 or 91, just turned 90. I was at his birthday party, actually. He passed away about a week ago, and his funeral was this morning. But I just thought I'd like to mention Big Ed, as he'd like to be called. If you see a gentleman at all our events with his camera telling people where to stand and butting in, and he was a real pain in the neck, to tell you the truth, but we loved him. Great sense of humor, and I got to know him over the last 7 years that I'm here in Monroe. And I just want to say, give a shout out to Ed and his family, and say he was a real asset to our community, and we should remember people like that.
Yes, we should.
I'm going to miss him. I hope everybody does. Thank you.
Thank you for speaking for all of us who often would say to him, please stop taking pictures. Can't you please stop? And he cared and he loved and he kept taking his pictures. Councilman DePira.
Thank you. I just also wanted to talk about the Veterans Appreciation Medal at the Senior Center. It was an honor to be there and to watch them walk up with pride, and for our freedom, just to think, as I sat next to Mike at the event, and we just talked and we said, imagine the stories and the events and what everybody went through for our freedom. And if we all just took a minute and you think about that. I mean, my dad was in the Korean War, my father-in-law as well. And, you know, I've always asked them so many questions and what happened. And sometimes they want to talk about it and sometimes they don't. But when you see a veteran, a true veteran, and you say, we took that time to be there, our mayor and council and our senior center, everybody that put that together for our veterans, it's just to say thank you. And we need to do that more often. Also, we went to the ribbon cutting at the Veterans Building, Valor Point, this past Thursday. It was very well organized. It was hot, but it was a well organized event, and proud to have that in our community. It's just incredible, amazing, and to see everybody come together. The people that live there in the community become friends, and they talk about their experiences and their future, and it makes you smile when you see the community, like our community, have something like that in Monroe Township. I wanted to also talk about National Night Out tomorrow night, Tuesday, 6 o'clock at Thompson Park, for our first responders, our police, or the leaders for this, and the car show and everything. I want to say thank you to our police and our administration there that's handling this. Something that I try to go to every year, and it's a very well attended event. Weather hopefully will be well, and the people there are always smiles. And usually we see Alan making hot dogs, but hopefully Kevin will be doing them tomorrow night.
Doing hot dogs, yeah.
Hopefully he'll be there making the hot dogs. Street lighting plan. Have we heard anything from JCP&L on street lights?
Council President, we had sent a master list of streetlight outages. Thanks to our police for helping us put that together. I'm supposed to receive a summary of their progress by tomorrow or the next day. So I apologize that it's not here, but it will certainly have that for the next meeting.
If that's something you could put on our website to help our residents, that would be helpful. Also, the county fair started today. Middlesex County's fairs on Cranberry Road at the county fairgrounds. It goes on till Sunday. It started tonight. Recycling also starts today, I believe, with the new recycling cans. Everybody asks, what do I do with my can? What do I do with my can? So if you read the letter, and it starts today, and if you have your old can, you can place it inside the new can, I believe, and you can discharge it that way, or you could just hold it for whatever reason. Terry and I joke that our cans aren't big enough, but maybe we might have to keep them.
Terry's serious.
Yeah, Terry's serious, I know. I wanted to talk about the rec center. The flashing lights in the curbs. Hopefully we can get that done this month. Is there any progress on that?
Please. Mr. Asmowitz, it's your turn.
Council President, yes, we anticipate that happening in the next 2 weeks. They were scheduled to come out last week, and then something came up, and anyway, it's delayed for about another week or two. but we anticipate before school starts.
Okay, great. Thank you. And also there was some talk about the hockey rink. Are we doing any repairs or anything with the hockey rink at the rec center?
Turn again.
So, Council President, that's part of our long-term recreation plan, but there's certainly nothing in the works in terms of the hockey rink this year or probably even next year. Of course, there's common maintenance and filling in cracks and that sort of repair. But in terms of larger improvements, we don't have that in the works just yet.
Okay, thank you. A lot of us attended the 4th of July fireworks. It was really a celebration to see Jamesburg and the surrounding towns, including Monroe, to have the fireworks right here in Thompson Park. And it was just very well organized. Police, the buses, our DPW, everybody came together. And as far as I know, everything went smooth. The entertainment was amazing. And also the events for the children was really, really, every year it gets better and better. I just wanted to put a shout out to everybody and thank everybody. On Prineville Road, there's a lot of dead trees and branches over the road itself. In particular, if you go down Union Valley, you go south, maybe a quarter mile down the road or less, there's dead trees between there and Federal. So it's just a big concern with the storms that we have and the amount of trees that are dead over Prineville Road, and that road is pretty well heavily trafficked, along with dump trucks and regular cars, buses, and it's just a lot of dead trees that on Prineville Road. Maybe we could inform the county to cut them down and cut the branches for safety. And also talking about the county, do they have a plan on any other paving in Monroe for this year, 2025, or drainage or any bridge projects for 2025?
Mark, you look like you're scowling. No.
Council President, I'm deferring to Mark. I seem to remember
see that, yeah.
that the southern part of Prineville Road, that there was another stretch that they were still looking to do, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I recall that as well, but I'll have to follow up. I don't recall offhand.
Yeah, we talked about it, but I just don't know if they gave us a schedule. Just because school starts in a month, and it always helps if we can do it before school. And the flooding, that last Thursday we had some flooding in Regency. We had some flooding through the community. And I just want to say thank you to all the first responders. I mean, you listen to the police, you listen to the first responders, and it gets a little hairy at times, and everybody gets everybody's nerves. But and then you get social media that likes to put everything out there that's not true lots of times. And I just want to say to our police that do an amazing job, and also our fire companies and our first aid. They do an amazing job. And as being a fire commissioner for over 20 years, I see it firsthand that our men and women to these our first responders are second to none. They're the best that we have in the state, and they're the best in Middlesex County. And I want to say thank you to our administration that makes everything work no matter what the weather is. They rise to the occasion. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the summer, everyone.
Your turn.
Thank you,
Vice
Madam
President
President.
Benzora must be smiling still.
When you go toward the end, a lot of things are already mentioned, so I'll try not to be too redundant. But I was also at the Valor Point ribbon cutting, which was our place for seniors to live with affordable housing. And one of the great things about that, you don't realize how much goes into it. And the people that put it together explained a lot about it, because it's the town being involved, but also the state providing financing, and then the different groups that went out to solicit the different veterans. So we continue to strive to have as many veterans in there as we can. And it was a very nice event, and it was well attended. So I thought that was a great thing. Tonight, as we sit here and you see these young people come forward again, tonight was the Police Youth Academy, and we've had other events where students have come forward, and I think that's the best thing, because they're the future of our town, and to see them come forward and the respect that they show and the way they conduct themselves is very encouraging. And you hear about the summer rec camp. We were talking about the people that run the camp, but as I was telling them afterwards, we got, I don't know, it was either an email or somebody posted on Facebook, it was something along those lines, about the effect that a couple of the specific counselors had on their children and how much it made their children so happy, because these particular, and I don't remember the name of the counselors specifically, but there were at least 2 or 3 people that took a couple of people under their wings that maybe they weren't the most popular kids or whatever, and really made their summer. So when you hear stuff like that, it's heartwarming. It's very encouraging. So that was great. I would like to compliment our administration as well as our legal team on working out the program with the BFI. That has been a headache for a while, and now we can sort of see a light at the end of the tunnel, which will provide some positive things for the town instead of being a constant negative. And I think that's going to be great. And the thing I was most excited about tonight was hearing from our solar representative, because it's something I've been pushing for a while. And, we're going to be able to implement something, and it has so many different good things about it, not just for the environment, which is something big, but also financially for the town, it'll be a plus. Maybe in the beginning, it sort of evens out a little bit, but overall, for those kids that were sitting here that might live in our town 15 or 20 years, their energy costs will go down significantly. So overall, it's going to be a great thing, and it's nice to see the town moving forward on projects like that. And I think it was very good, and I thank Schneider for coming and explaining exactly what's going on. So thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the summer. I might see you at National Night Out tomorrow. It always is a nice event, but wish you all the best. Stay safe and stay cool out there when it gets hot. Thanks.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to take a minute. Did I understand it's going to be 80 degrees tomorrow, not 180, so that the weather for National Night Out should be more comfortable for all of us who will be there? And I'd like to tell the councilwoman that I started going to those plays when we moved here over 35, 40 years ago, and they've always been a wonderful, wonderful event. We used to park our chairs and leave them and go off to work and come back and see plays. So that was always a lot of fun. So all of the things we are doing are really very valuable. It is an honor, as usual, Mr. Mayor, to ask you for your report, please, before we go to public comment.
Thank you, Madam Council President. More some musings than reporting.
That's okay.
Everything's been touched upon. However, I will talk a little bit, expand the discussion of plays in the park. Obviously, my father, who was a director, freeholder for many years, he oversaw the plays in the park, so I saw my share of them. However, my recollection of plays in the park was cleaning up afterwards. I used to work in Roosevelt Park, cutting the grass and then cleaning up, so it was always lots of fun. Just a useless fun fact that I work for Roosevelt Park, so take that report there.
Look where I got you.
July 4th, again, it was discussed. However, I do want to recognize the mayor of the day. Every July 4th, I designate somebody to be a mayor of the day to do the countdown for the 4th of July, and it was Connor Diodario, otherwise known as the baby bearded one. His parents owned the bearded one on Route 33 there. Connor did a great job. He was very mayoral in his number counting, and something to be certainly his parents very, very proud of. Yes, the medal ceremony, I do want to at least publicly also thank the New Jersey Department of Military and Veteran Affairs who helped coordinate that. And just in closing, it was mentioned about Ed Hornicker. Monroe's luster is indeed a little less bright. With Ed's loss, we also lost Mr. Joel Greenberg, who was a member of our community garden, Shade Tree Commission as well. Ed had passed away. Ed passed away this week. Joel was the week before that. So please keep them in your thoughts and your prayers. And I feel that luster will certainly shine a little bit brighter with those young men and young women who were here, who went through our police academy. And it's just always, that's what Monroe's about, as Councilman Markell had mentioned, it's about the people. So let's keep it going. Thank you kindly.
Thank you. I'd like to move to the public comment section. I would need a motion to open public comments, please.
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The public is invited up. You're very quick. Remember,
I
your
am
name
one of
and
the
address.
public. Yes, I am.
5 minutes.
Gary Busman, 7 Monarch Road. Next Monday night, the 11th, at 7 p.m. at the Senior Center, the Monroe Township Friends of the Garden will be having a meeting. I'm being one of the original founders of the library, calling out to anyone besides the members of the garden to come out and attend this meeting, because as the mayor just said, our mentor and the hardest worker in the world was Joel Greenberg. Joel Greenberg passed away, and we will probably need 5 people to replace the work and the effort that he put into the garden. So on behalf of the board of directors of the Friends of the Monroe Township Community Garden, I wish Joel's family peace and good memories and a good future for all of his children and grandchildren. And please, those of you that hear me speaking tonight, come out and help us support the garden Monday night, August 11th, 7 p.m., the Senior Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Remember your name and address for our records, please, and it is a 5-minute time limit. Sir.
Hello. Good evening, all. My name is Hare Krishna Mutiala. I am from the villages at County View, 695 Spotwood English Town in Buckle View. So we came, thank you so much, everyone. Good evening, everyone. We came last time, we came in the January for the regarding our community recycle issue. The recycle is flying on the air when the recycle come. We made a lot of our recycle department in the mayor and Kevin also. So finally, that's working out. They bring the new community for making our Monroe Township community clean and green and making Monroe Township again great. Thank you so much under the stipend in the mayor. Thank you so much all whoever made all this possible and make this clean and green our community for recycle. Thank you so much. All whoever put the efforts, we have to say for only for thanks to and gratitude to whoever did all this program for our community making a clean and green. So that's from my side.
Thank you.
I am Shankar. I am from Villages at Country View Community from English Town, Spottstown Road. We came really here to thank all of the people, esteemed council members, mayor, Kevin, department heads, recycling. We met a lot of people, made our way up all the way here to discuss about the issues that we faced with our coverless recycling bins, creating a lot of issues in our community for the small kids and pets. And we really appreciate the time the township took to talk to the Middlesex County officials to get the recycling carts. We are very happy to see the recycling carts already delivered on time, and we are very happy to see this week the carts being picked up by the people, so that way we can get all these things working nicely without having any side effects of the trash lying all through the community because of the wind. Having here and saying thanks, we would also like to request that if you can, when you are talking, Kevin, to the JCPNL, our community also have a lot of light bulbs that are not working. We have been waiting for them to fix for almost a year now, and they keep closing the ticket and opening. I don't know what fun they have with this without actually fixing it. They keep closing the tickets. It will be great if you can talk about that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I have one more
Yeah.
question, last question. So, but most of the Monroe Township, Monroe communities, high school buses coming into inside the community. So we are the new community, so a lot of kids are there for high school. Is there any chance to buses coming to inside for the, because I saw a lot of communities, a lot of people, they say, hey, this coming to my community inside for the high school bus. So can you please consider this, any possibilities, anything?
Yeah, so Council President, any school bus questions would have to be referred to the Department of Transportation within the Board of Education. Their transportation department
don't do transportation.
certainly can answer any of those questions.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks
And the
a lot for
last thing, thank you so much. You guys make our HOA board members' life is easy. Thank you so much, each and everyone. Great day.
Our pleasure.
Great, good
You're
evening.
most welcome. Mr. Gunkelman,
Yes, thank you.
moving slowly.
George Gunkelman, Monroe. I'm assuming that the recycling, we're going to stick to the same date. So if we were every other Tuesday, it'll be every other Tuesday.
Correct.
Nothing's changed. Thank you. There are two items in the consent agenda, 158 and 165, which are one-year leases for from township land for gardens or farms. No acreage there. My interest there is to ask if what we're doing about insurance and liability issues during these leases.
Mr. McGowan, please.
Sure. So they're both township property. They're both included in our insurance policy. Our insurance carrier through the Garden State Municipal JIF, the Joint Insurance Fund, are aware of the continued farming activity. It's not that uncommon. The county on its property also allows neighboring farmers to continue to farm the property. So it's all been factored in terms of liability coverage with our joint insurance fund. It's a good question.
Great deal for the farmer. Yeah, no, I have farmland in another state that I lease, and my insurance costs are considerable. You know. Going back to BFI briefly, how are we managing that so the solar timing is that we're not in a gap in between? So we make a deal with BFI where they're off the hook, and the solar group is unsuccessful at getting a sign off from, state agency, DEP or whatever. Are we left holding the bag?
No, all happens at one time. It's kind of simultaneous. Once all of the approvals from DEP are done, then there'll be effectively a closing, a three-way kind of closing.
Okay, thank you. I had two questions for the solar gentleman. One, he mentioned something TJM regarding the rate increases. I don't know what
PJM, that's the PJM, that's who owns the grid. PJM, it's the people who own the grid, the multi-state grid that supply the power into our grid.
Okay,
pretty good, right?
It's not bad. Look at that, right?
So-
All
Not
left
bad.
over here. Not
They're
bad.
the ones that negotiated our rate increases.
They're the ones who passed on the rate increases. The reason that our utility company, they're the ones that the utility companies buy the power from.
Right. The other question I had for the gentleman was, what happens at the end of the life of the project? Who has the liability for the demolition and the disposal of the equipment? And whoever does that, what is the environmental impact of when you are decommissioning solar panels?
So it would be, I think, the same as any other township-owned asset. It's owned by the town from day one. It's just financed through like a bonding, method. So I think it would be, similar to any other asset the township owns. As far as like decommissioning and demolition, I'd have to get back to you on specifics. I mean, I think again, it's a 20 to 30 year lifespan.
Get back to him, not me.
Yeah. get back to Kevin on that.
But if there's a considerable expense in doing that, we need to know it and factor it in on any decision we make going forward. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that presumes that after 20 or 30 years, it would have to be demolished. I mean, we don't one, we don't know what the technology will be at the time. Maybe it has to be refurbished in some way or upgraded or updated. I think it's tough to tell, but it's a good question. If
they say the lifespan's 30 years, I would take them at their word.
I'm not saying that I don't. I'm saying that maybe other solar panels could be replacing those ones at the time, and it could continue to be a project, so.
Yeah, well, and what about the environmental impacts of disposing panels?
Again, I'd have to look into that. I know a lot of it has gotten better from what I've read in terms of the source materials being primarily sand.
Right. Yeah. You didn't have to get back when you were telling us about the wonderful environmental aspects of the ongoing thing, but there is an impact that
it's a good question. Yeah.
you should be aware of. Thank you.
Keep riding horses. Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. I'm all for the leasing of the property to the farmers. Can you do we know what commitment they've made to what they're growing? If they're using pesticides on the land, will it be organic farming? Since we own the land.
It's all regulated by DEP.
That's exactly the answer. So they're all regulated by DEP, whether it's municipally owned property or privately owned property. They are, permitted to use whatever the NJDEP, regulates for them.
And we don't know what that is? It's on our land.
Again, I don't have a list of pesticides that I can read off to you, but certainly, that information is available.
Will it be in the resolution?
No.
I mean, is there any stipulation in the resolution? I mean, I have
the
the resolution. It's very small.
No, it's not in the resolution. It's in the state administrative code.
And we monitor that because, again, it is our land.
No, the state does.
Yeah, but it's our land. We're not enforcing those regulations. And how often does the state go out and look at those things? Never, right?
As often as they go out and look at it on every other farm that's in the.
Yeah, but that's not a good answer, sir.
No, but it is the answer, though.
Well, it's a terrible answer given the state's. Yeah.
Townships don't typically regulate agricultural sites or do inspections of that kind.
We can.
I understand. But
we don't have any authority to.
And at some point, like I know that someone had asked to use some of the that old golfing range for farming. That's owned by the Board of Education. And if you put pesticides and things like that, eventually when we need to put a school there, it might be a problem. So if it's public land that Monroe is using, and if we ever use it is that for municipal purposes, those properties, or are they open space?
So we've done, Council President, when we purchased those properties, we did environmental analyses on those, and that area was already being farmed at the time, so it was taken into account in terms of the environmental analysis. Those reports are all available, if that's helpful.
That's helpful. Okay, going to the solar project, I'm all for anything environmentally sound, but there. I mentioned the Board of Education, and again, the Board of Education has the Board of Education has a similar program, and they used, not to diminish this gentleman's presentation, it was fine, but the Board of Education used a different construction people or the people who are doing it, so maybe you can ask the Board of Education, maybe you can get a second opinion. I don't know. I think that might be prudent and get their numbers and estimates. The Board of Education has, I think it was last year that they agreed to do it, and it's a different company. So I think it might be a prudent and good business practice maybe to contact them and see what they're doing and what they can provide. And I have a couple questions on that. And the reason why I'm asking this question, because I was at the presentation for the Board of Education. There was a guarantee of income to the township from the project, but the guarantee had a cost involved. The Board of Education had to pay an insurance premium for the guarantee. I'm wondering if that is included in this.
Council President, it is included in Mr. Riggle's analysis, and it's about $19,000.
Okay, see, I think that's important because it's an option. Is that correct? It's an option to have that guarantee.
Yeah, correct. It is an option that the state law requires it to be an option to the townships and to the schools above and beyond kind of the third-party verification that the state and the BPU provides. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it is an option.
Optional, but silly not to do it because
Well, that's a decision, but the public should be made aware of that. When they talk about a guarantee, we're paying for a guarantee. We're paying a premium for ensuring that guarantee. I think that's an important position. No one up there asked the question. All right, in the lighting portion, are they going to be, what?
What? You always have to make a comment.
Well, is
Let her
this a
make
free
her
speech,
speech.
sir?
Public portion,
Is this a free
guys.
speech?
Please,
issue?
would you?
So my
you
comment
have-
is for that.
Don't
Please.
engage me then.
I'm sorry that, first of all, we talk about our veterans. Secondly, I just want to let you know, I've paid my taxes for this portion. I paid my taxes since 1980. I am mostly respectful, and if I make a comment that doesn't please you, we already know on the national level, when comments aren't pleased by administrators, they make fun of people. Are you doing the same thing to the public here?
Excuse me, you will address your comments through the chair, number one. You will
Well-
not continue to engage in conversation, Mr.
Again,
Vansor.
free speech. Again, you're stopping
Your
that.
free speech has regulations and responsibilities, and you are aware of that. Would you please?
Are you talking about censorship? Okay, so I have the lighting portion. Is that going to help with?
Time's up. I'm gonna let her finish this.
If you don't want me to finish, I won't
finish your
finish.
question.
Finish your question. Just be aware that you're being granted additional time.
I am
Would you
pleased
just please
and
finish your
appreciative.
question?
The generation of solar panels, are they the most recent generation that you're using, or are they older generation? When they get put on, I mean, sometimes these things are obsolete when they get put on. So what generation of solar panels are we talking about? And will they be the most?
Yep, they are the most current, modern from what they call tier one manufacturers. But yeah, they're definitely not older units or technology.
And the light pollution, are we going to take that into consideration? When we talk about putting all these new lighting, the light pollution, is also a environmental issue.
Yeah, so the sports or the softball complex is the main kind of exterior lighting location, and there are basically lighting diagrams that show what they call the spread of where the light is landing. One of the benefits of LEDs is they are more directional. So in general, the light pollution is improved, but we do have diagrams that show at 50 or 100 foot radius, like what the spill is from the lighting.
That's good. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
my taxes are in the mail.
Anyone else wish to address the council, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, I would like a motion to close. Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. We are adjourned.